that might be a good thing. So in trying to meet these community objectives, we proposed to the feds, and they agreed, that this new land should be created with a port in mind, and our proposition was to move it to East 55th Street. So I'm sorry you've heard this several times, probably, right, Howard? But Howard, don't speak. That the community has accepted that, the city has embraced that. We're trying to make that work more finally. We've been in front of the Planning Commission. It's a real project. It's got a real proposition. It's got a real design at East 55th Street. Corps of Engineers is supportive of that. What that would yield is, over time, developed in phases, would be a state-of-the-art marine terminal that would be unlike anything else in the United States, because no city is chosen to move its port. Now, we don't have the largest port in the United States, but it's a significant project. It's on a freshwater body. We're very sensitive and careful about our lakefront and our water, and these are not simple projects to do. So we move the port, we build the CDF, we locate the port on it, and conceived well, a port should drive economic development. And that's really why we're all here, in many regards, is to make our place healthier in many regards, and that starts with jobs, the economy, and taxes. If our port is more robust, it will drive value around it, and there are 1,000 acres nearby to the new port location on the east side of the city. It's an old industrial area that is that could sustain new growth and is less well utilized than it had been in the past. It's bisected by a Class 1 railroad. That's a cross-country railroad. It's bisected by an interstate highway. It's a place where road and rail and water come together in one place in the middle of this country, in the Midwest. And that's an unusual and distinguishing product to attracting investment. Probably one of the most important development issues that we think, I'll speak for myself and the state of Ohio. It's not trivial and probably means a lot to our regional competitiveness as we go forward. With all of that, let's build the new port and let's do it carefully. You just heard Eric mention the mayor's sustainability event and the city's interest in doing things right, taking care of ourselves, sustaining ourselves in the future. So the Port Authority, who's hired staff in this regard, are focused on the environment and us as a neighbor in building a class-leading project, the greenest project in the United States. We have the chance to build a marine terminal unlike any place else because we're starting from scratch. And we can do it with the newest technology and design. So I think we're interested and committed to do that. Let's leverage the new development to be a center of a waterfront recreation district. The east side has some recreation assets, but we can actually redefine that to be something far beyond what it is today. So that recreation district might include Dike 14, which is 88 acres of land that the Port Authority has some responsibility for. It's a dredge disposal site, but many in the community see it as a natural habitat and a bird sanctuary. And we don't want to touch that except to enhance that in a way that the community accepts. But what happens around that? New marina, access to the waterfront, connections to Gordon Park, connections to Rockefeller Park and the Doan Brook. That can become quite a nice place, enhancing the natural assets that are already there. So if we don't move our port to the east, we can't do the downtown development. And so that's what I offer in context. These issues are linked quite closely, the move of the port and to grow it, and to create the best urban waterfront in the world right here. And we think it can be done, and there are a lot of people, I assume outside of this room, that doubt whether Cleveland can pull it off, or doubt whether Cleveland can compete for new industrial development, or doubt whether Cleveland can actually create a great waterfront and have investors come to Cleveland and want to put their money in our community, or perhaps folks that are already in the community to do that. So it's fascinating to listen to the naysayers. And I would just offer, please don't underestimate the negative impact of these folks and their influence. Investors and outsiders read everything we write about each other and what we say, that a community's sense of its potential is actually quite important to folks that we want to come and do good things in our community. Now back to downtown. I think we intend that the Port Authority and its partners begin to market our final development strategy to investors when it's complete, and that'll be sometime later this year. We're on our way. This is not a vision, it's a development strategy. Visioning was done in the past. We're working quite closely with city planning. The director of planning, Bob Brown, is in the audience, and principal planner on this project, Linda Hendrickson. The visioning is fine. Now it's time to put it into development strategy. What's going to happen when? What's the infrastructure? What will make it world-class? How's it going to get paid for? And who are the partners going to be? We went out and we sought to get the best advice in the world as we started the planning. We have 100 acres or so that's in public ownership. Either the city of Cleveland owns part of the land or the Port Authority, and we're partners. Who are the best folks in the world to kind of define urban waterfronts? What work have they done? Could we model them around the best waterfronts and urban places in the world and replicate that or better it? So we went out and found the best talent, and actually you're going to have the privilege to hear from Stan Eckstut, because we think Stan represents with his team the best talent. We have maybe the only 100-acre site in North America that's ready to go once the port's gone. Vacant site in public ownership, waiting to be developed. A couple things I'd ask you to listen to Stan carefully on. Just some critical components of, I think, what he's going to talk to you about, beyond the interesting thoughts around design and development and phasing. Assets are in place. We don't talk about this. Stan reminds us of that, and he's going to say it again. He's probably going to kick me. But we have assets in place, and he'll tell you what they are. But we have a platform to do this development as we start that most communities, probably no community has. We have transit. It's a floodplain. It's already bulkheaded. It's ready to go. It's in public ownership. We have world-class assets and tourism centers right there. I mean, this is a gift, and most places don't have that. We don't recognize it because it's not all we want it to be yet, but it's there to start with. The comparative size of the property. We look out the window from our office and we see a strip of land along the lakefront, but it's a big piece of urban property. You could pick that property up, and if you overlaid that on this urban core of our financial district down to Terminal Tower, it's the core of downtown. It's a huge piece of property. It won't be done overnight. Let's do it right and do it well. We've got a huge asset. We've got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We're entering that crossroads right now. Let's not squander it. Let's do it well. Let's organize it up. Stan's going to show pictures and concepts he's brought to our partners, primarily the City of Cleveland. He's been working with Cuyahoga County, the Downtown Alliance, GCP, Warehouse District, and other stakeholder groups. We're interacting with the public. We've had 3 public meetings. We're going to have some more of that, but we are looking to kind of work towards bringing it forward in the next several months. It's still a work of art. It's still in progress, though. And we invite your comments today, and we invite your comments after today. Still soliciting input. I think you're going to enjoy listening to Stan Eckstut. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you for all coming and sharing this time with us and listening to this presentation. It is about building consensus. That's what we're in the process of doing. So we're still listening and learning and observing a great deal. We do want to bring this to a close so we can move from strategy to an actual development plan, which we hope will be the next step. I am going to, probably some of you are going to have a hard time seeing the screen, so you may want to move your chairs back a little bit, etc. And I will, hopefully these speakers will work while I push this images to and from. I'm going to try, it's about 10 of them. I think we're going to end with some time for Q&A, so I'm going to try to stop if I can in 30 minutes. If I can do it in less, I'm sure you'd be happy. So we'll try that as well. In terms of my firm, I probably should say a little bit, just the quick elevator speech. We've been doing schools every year of our 50-year existence, and we continue to do schools. It's been our specialty. We also are one of the architectural firms that probably established preservation architecture in America. And we're now associated with thinking about architecture, as many architects in the past have done, including Burnham, of thinking of architecture in a larger way in campuses, districts, places. So that's sort of the 11-second elevator speech.